What's up, sports fans? This is the Lucas Ross Sports Channel, and it's time to continue our 2023 college football predictions for the 2023 college football season. And up next, it's the Alabama Crimson Tide, team that's coming off an up-and-down season last year, going 11-2 overall. For Alabama fans, they think it was really disappointing. This was still a good Alabama team last year, but they missed out on the college football playoff and obviously an SEC championship game appearance. So Alabama had a pretty up-and-down season. You look at this Alabama team now heading into 2023. They do lose Bryce Young and Will Anderson and Jahmyr Gibbs. The offensive side of the football, and then, of course, the defensive side of the football with Will Anderson. And if you look at this production coming back this year for Alabama, they do lose a lot of production, from last season. So it's definitely going to be a big change here for this Crimson Tide team. But once again, I'm not really too concerned about Alabama. I think they'll still be pretty good with all the talent they have. So let's get right into the schedule here for Alabama heading into 2023. And again, coming off an 11-2 season last year, you look at the schedule, they do play Middle Tennessee, Texas, USF, and Chattanooga in the non-conference, and they'll also play Tennessee and Kentucky on the road in the SEC East. So Alabama's schedule is kind of similar to last year. They don't have a tough draw, though, outside of the SEC West. Last year, they had to play Tennessee and obviously some other team in the West in the East as well. So Alabama coming off again, an 11-2 season. Let's now go game by game and give you an official prediction here for Alabama heading into 2023. So they'll start the season off here with a non-conference game here against Middle Tennessee. I don't see Alabama having any problems in this game. Even though Middle Tennessee was a pretty good team last year, they did defeat a Division I team like Miami, but I really don't see Alabama having any problems in this game. If they do have problems, it's probably going to be coming down to the quarterback position, but I really don't see any two concerns about Alabama in this game here starting with the season. And I got Alabama starting off 2023 with a win over Middle Tennessee. And then they play Texas here on September the 9th, big non-conference game here between the Big 12 and the SEC. Obviously, last year's game was a really great finish. Last year it came down to a field goal. Alabama came out on top. But again, Texas does have the talented, roster coming back this year, Quinn Ewers, and then you got the freshman Arch Manning coming in. The question is, Texas is heading on the road, though. How good will they be on the road against Alabama here? I think Alabama will be ready for this game. I think they're kind of, ready for a better scoring game against this Texas defense, but I think the game is going to kind of be similar to last year. But with that being said, with home field advantage and obviously a 50-50 game, I like Alabama in this game. I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide here to knock off Texas here on September the 9th, and I also got them taking care of business here against USF here, also known as South Florida on the road. Even though it's on the road, I don't think it will be a tough game here for Alabama. USF was not really that good of a team last year, so I got Alabama starting out 3-0. Then they'll play Ole Miss here to open up SEC play here on September 23rd. What a game this was last year. Obviously, Alabama's, defense came up huge in the fourth quarter, and that allowed Alabama to kind of pull away late in the game as well. And, a couple years ago when Ole Miss played here at Tuscaloosa last time, Alabama pretty much dominated the game. I don't think it's kind of similar to that game a couple years ago. I think this game kind of goes back and forth, but with home field advantage and also Alabama being at home, it's obviously a 50-50 game for me as well. I'm going to go with the Crimson Tide here to knock off Ole Miss here on September 23rd. And I got Alabama improving to 4-0. Next game on the road at Mississippi State here on September 30th. Mississippi State's going to have a new head coach this year. They're definitely going to have a new era. I really am concerned about this Mississippi State team. I think they could somehow still make it to a bowl game, but, the game obviously wasn't that close last year. And I think Alabama is going to be ready for this one here. And obviously it's their first true road test here. Remember last year, like I said, they did struggle on the road. And Alabama's quarterback position, it's definitely going to come down to that. But, Mississippi State with a new era coming in. And obviously I don't really see Mississippi State maybe knocking off Alabama in this game. I think the Crimson Tide escape here with a win on the road at Mississippi State. And I got Alabama now improving to 5-0 in 2023. And they'll play on the road here at Texas A&M. So they got back-to-back road games here with Mississippi State and Texas A&M. Texas A&M obviously going to be their toughest road game here on the schedule this year. And the Aggies have a lot of production coming back. This is going to be probably a top 15, top 20 type team. I'm not calling them a top 10 team just yet. I think they do have a better season after a 5-7 record from last year. If you look at this game here between Alabama and Texas A&M in the last couple years have been so close. Alabama obviously lost to Texas A&M the last time they came here to Kyle Field, and then of course Texas A&M almost beat them last year. But it's on the road this time for Alabama, and with all the production coming back for Texas A&M, I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go with Texas A&M here to knock off Alabama here at home against the Crimson Tide. And I got Alabama losing their first game of the season here on the road at Texas A&M. And I got them falling now to 5-1 in 2023. Arkansas after that on October 14th. They do play them here at home. The game was really close in the first half last year. Of course, Bryce Young went out in that game, but then the third quarter, Arkansas started to pour back in that game. But, the fourth quarter, Alabama just kind of pulled away. I don't think the game's going to be really all that close this year. I think in the first half, maybe Arkansas can give Alabama a scare. But I think after that Texas A&M loss, Alabama will be motivated enough, and I think they do knock off Arkansas here on October the 14th. Then it's Tennessee after that on October the 21st, the third Saturday in October matchup. What a game this was last year, the best game of the season in 2023 last year. Tennessee going to have that high-powered offense, to really, try to get past that Alabama defense, but I think Alabama's in revenge mode here in this game, and I think they'll be ready for this Tennessee offense. And I think they'll really shut down the defense for Tennessee. But, end of the day, it's a close one to call. I like Alabama here in this one just because they're at home here. And I got the Crimson Tide defeating Tennessee here and improving now to 7-1. Then it's LSU after that on November 4th. They get a bye week before playing this game. Obviously a rival game that goes back and forth every year. The defenses last year really couldn't stop both offenses for the teams. It was obviously a high-scoring game last year, and it seems like Alabama and LSU are now having some high-scoring games. It seems like now in the last couple years. And this game is at home for Alabama, and it's obviously a tough one to call. I think LSU has a chance to knock off Alabama, but end of the day with home field advantage, I'm going to say that the Crimson Tide get revenge here on this LSU team and knock off the Tigers here at home in Tuscaloosa. So they get two revenge games here in back-to-back weeks here with Tennessee and LSU. But they do get a bye week there between Tennessee and LSU. Then it's on the road at Kentucky after that on November the 11th. So they'll play their second East game here on the road at Kentucky. The first time Alabama's heading to Lexington in 10 years in Lexington. But Kentucky's going to have a really good offensive line. They also got Devin Leary coming in, the transfer from NC State. How good will he help them out for this Kentucky team? I think Kentucky gives Alabama a scare for a few minutes, but then Alabama will pull away. I think, Alabama's hungry for a college football playoff appearance, and I think they knock off Kentucky here on the road, and then they take care of business here against Chattanooga here and improve to 10-1. Then they play their last game of the regular season on the road at Auburn in the Iron Bowl. This is a game that's close every single year. It's not really close in Tuscaloosa, but it's always really close at Jordan-Hare. We've seen Alabama at times have problems at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Auburn's got a new head coach, though, with Hugh Freeze. How good will they be under his first year? That's going to be the question. Auburn's going to have talent, though. They're going to have the talent to beat this Alabama team. At the end of the day, though, I think Alabama will be ready for this one. I think they're just hungry to get to the SEC championship game. I don't think this decides the SEC West, but I got Alabama here defeating Auburn here in the last game of the regular season on the road at Auburn in the Iron Bowl. And I got Alabama finishing with an overall record of 2023 with 11-1. So Alabama, my prediction for them is 11-1 in 2023. But don't sleep on this, schedule. They could probably lose, 3 games. It would be a big shock to me if Alabama did lose 3 games in the season. But if they did lose, 3 games, that would just be disappointing. I don't really see, this team going undefeated, but they probably could possibly go undefeated. But again, my prediction for Alabama is 11-1 for 2023. What's your prediction for the Alabama Crimson Tide for 2023? Let me know down in the comments below. And stay tuned here for more sports content on the Lucas Ross Sports Channel.